with Jean Ang again. We did a spoon bending class last night, and one of the reasons I feel this is so important, and I did this, is the power of intention. Okay, take it away, Jean.
Great. So I'll briefly show you the first technique that we learned in the class. It's using an energy model. So you'd like to get a fork, and we got or spoon, as you can see it's a spoon. We got these at Target. You want to get a fork or spoon that's hard enough so that you know that it has a lot of tensile strength. You're still going to bend it with your hands, and obviously I could maybe force this down. That's not the point of the exercise. You want to test your fork, make sure, or spoon, that it's hard. And you can see I'm bending it. And any more pressure, you can actually see my muscles would start to have to really force it or shake. And that I'm calling is the bend point. So I'm going to show you the technique. And then after that, you'll go back to that bend point. You'll put a little more pressure. And what will happen is, if it's ready to go, it'll become almost like putty, or at least very, very soft. That's the whole experience. At that point, you just bend it all the way down. And then it's a very short window. It's going to all of a sudden get hard again. And it'll be just as hard as when it started. So I'll just show you the technique, and then we'll see if it will bend. You can't force when it will get soft. You can do the technique. And then at some point, it could be in a couple of seconds, or even a couple of minutes, or even longer, like 15 or 30 minutes, depending on how hard the metal was originally, it'll all of a sudden go into that window where it's very soft. So the technique is like this. You've done that pre-test. You hold the fork or spoon in either hand, doesn't matter, doesn't have to be your dominant hand. You imagine a white sphere of light above your head. Then you're going to imagine some of that white light coming down your head, going over to your shoulder that's holding it, down your shoulder. Imagine that white light going through your hands, your fingers. Then imagine that white light filling the fork or the spoon. You can take your time. It happens really very fast, instantaneously. As soon as you think of the white light here, the white light there, in the fork or the spoon, it's pretty much done. But you can imagine that waterfall of light going into your spoon or fork. After that, all you need to do is move into the next step. That step was called the energize phase. The next step is the intention phase, which is simply saying either internally or quietly out loud, bend, bend, bend. And that's the intention phase. Then what you do is you go back to that bend point, you give it a little more pressure. Right now it's sort of ready to go, but that's all it was able to bend. And then you test it again and see it's still hard, then you just wait. And at a certain point, you test it, you just relax, you don't have to think about anything. This is called the allow phase. It could be up to 5 minutes or 30 minutes. At some point, it'll all of a sudden become soft. So you saw there was a little bit of a period where it was able to get soft, and I could bend it like this, but then it went back to being hard. And then you just wait around, and every so often, check it again, and it's still in that hard phase. So right now, I've been able to bend it this far. Okay, well that's the technique, and we'll see one more time, and see now it's going into a soft phase. And I was able to bend it all the way down. So I hope you enjoyed that short explanation. Go ahead and try it with your spoons and forks, or you can go to Target and buy these same ones that I know are hard.
Quick question now, Jean. How does this apply to life?
Mm-hmm.
It's the intention and then getting out of the way, the mind getting out of the way, right?
Right. You could see in the allow phase that after I set the intention, it didn't mean the fork was going to get soft right away. You had to wait. You don't have conscious control of when that phase occurs, when it gets soft. And for me in this demonstration, it got soft just a little bit, and I could bend it like a triangle. And I just waited and talked a little bit, sort of got my mind off it. And then it got soft again, and I was able to bend it all the way down. But I couldn't will that phase.
Right. But it's the power of intention. So pay attention to your thoughts, because once you put it out there, it is out there. It might not manifest immediately, but it's going to have an impact on what happens in your life. So keep thinking all those good positive thoughts. See you soon.